and welcome to my channel. My name is Larissa and I am a freelance artist. So I thought it would be a lot of fun to do a art vlog about the whole art commission experience, client versus artist. Normally here on this channel I focus a lot on tea or Disney or fun DIYs, and I also do occasional speed paints for some of my art commissions. I feel like this video could be very helpful for just people who are interested in art and think that they someday might want to consider sort of commissioning some artwork or just buying artwork at a fair or something. But I also think this could be very helpful for existing or future artists who are intrigued by how other people do it or what they might have to keep an eye out for. So today I'm going to cover basically what I think of as the first step of a commission, and that is the conversations between artist and client leading up to creating the actual artwork. The relationship between artist and client is just like any other social interaction between two human beings. And that is to say that sometimes two people will instantly just jive and click and everything's awesome and fantastic, and sometimes they don't. One of the hardest things to do when you're starting out as an artist is to turn down potentially paying work. But I have found that sometimes it's totally worth it. To me, it's absolutely crucial that the artist and the client are a good fit. Let's say I am scrolling through some social media and I stumble across somebody's page that I am unfamiliar with. I see some really cool pictures. I'm like, oh, that's neat. And it says like commissions open. Never thought about that before, but hey, you know what? I could really use some original artwork. Why not? So you start looking into it maybe a little bit, and you start thinking about what you would like to commission. And you end up in the first couple artists that you see that say that they are taking commissions. You've got happy, fun, pink, adorable, cuddly princess artwork over here, and their prices are right about here. And then over here you've got dark, moody, gritty artwork with like vampires and werewolves, and their prices are just a little bit higher. You're really liking that moody, gothic stuff. You're like, hey, I could really use a werewolf picture. That'd be really awesome. Why not? But it's a little bit more. Maybe I'll go with princess. And yes, you could end up saving a little bit of money. And if you're already seeing princess's artwork and you think that their artwork is pretty good, there's a good chance you're going to get a decent piece of artwork in the end. And yeah, you might save a few bucks. But princess over here has a style, has a vibe, has something that they are really good at, and clearly they have a whole social media feed of it, a whole online portfolio. That's what they do. So yeah, they might in the end get you a product that you're reasonably happy with, and you'll walk away thinking, hey, yeah, I saved a few bucks. But if you would go over here to werewolf and you would spend those few extra bucks, that's clearly what werewolf does. This whole feed of these dark, moody, gritty pieces, that's what really got you interested to begin with. Yeah, it was a few bucks more, but since that's what they do, that's their focus, that's their style, they're probably going to be able to get you a product a little bit faster that you're in the end going to be a lot happier with, because that's their specialty. Nothing wrong with happy princess art. There's types for all different kinds of art. There's an artist and a customer out there that always goes together. Usually when I first meet somebody and I tell them I'm an artist, immediately they ask, oh, what do you draw? Well, that's a fairly loaded question. See, I'm a freelance artist. That means if I can draw it and you're willing to pay me for it, I probably will. I definitely have things that I prefer to draw. I definitely have styles that I prefer to work within. But if somebody really wants to work with me, they're actually reasonable to work with, and I can do what they're wanting, I'll probably take the commission. I've also had potential clients contact me and we go through the whole beginning stages. I'm asking them what they're looking for. We're talking about styles, we're talking about content, and I get to a certain point sometimes where I just realize that I'm just not going to be able to make them happy. they're not going to be happy with the finished product that I can give them. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. That's not saying that they're being completely unreasonable, and that's not saying that I'm a bad artist. That's just saying I am not the artist for that client. Is it hard to walk away from money when you're starting out as an artist? Yes. Is it going to be better in the long run? I believe so. Because when you're first starting out, word of mouth or a couple of online reviews make a huge difference. And if you deal with this one client and they get their product and they've paid you for it and they're meh about the whole thing, they're definitely not going to be giving you a glowing review online, and they're definitely not going to be telling their friends how amazing it was to work with you. So that one person, that one client might not be awesome. And on the client side, if you're working with this artist and you're just not jiving with them, you two just do not communicate on the same level or whatever, it might be good to walk away at a certain point. By all means, if they've given you some work up to this point, it's best to pay them for the work that they've given you. But on both sides, it's better to walk away early when you're sure it's not going to work out in the long run. Let's say you're an author and you're looking for cover art for your first book. Your brand as an author is going to be a lot better in the long run if there's some consistency within your books. So if you can get that cover art for your first book and you are amazed by it and you love it and it's perfect, fantastic. You can go back to that same artist in the future and be like, hey, this worked out great, let's work together again. And if you guys really jived that well, the artist is probably going to be excited to be able to jump back in. You've already laid ground rules, you already know what the other one expects, you know what the style is, it's going to be so much easier for everybody involved. So I believe working with the right clients and the right artists is going to be better for everybody in the long run. Everyone's going to be happy with the end product. Another thing to keep in mind when deciding whether an artist and a client are going to work together is types of communication. And by that, I don't mean email versus text. I mean that not everybody conveys themselves in the same way. And most of my commissions go pretty much in a very similar path to each other. Usually it starts with a direct message or an email, and it's something along the lines of, hey, I wanted to get a picture done of my 2 dogs sitting in a field of sheep and drinking wine. And if you're thinking that's some ridiculous, far out example that I just made up off the top of my head just to be crazy, that's a legit actual commission that I've received. And that's awesome. Those are my favorite ones because they're kind of crazy and out there. I would never personally think to draw 2 dogs drinking wine in a field of sheep. But somebody wants that, so great, that's why I'm here. And then usually I reply back something along the lines of, hey, that'd be fantastic. And a lot of non-artistic people are immediately like, boom, in their head they have this picture of, oh, I know exactly what that's gonna look like, and so they think that that's enough information for the artist to just dive in. Spoiler alert, it's not. So immediately I sort of turn into art detective mode, and I have to figure out what exactly they have in their head so that I can get that out onto paper or canvas. Are they looking for a specific type of dog? Are they looking for an actual specific dog that is their pet? Do they not really care what kind of dog it is? Is there a specific kind of field in a specific geographic region? Or do they just want nondescript green field somewhere in Midwestern United States? What kind of wine? Do they want the wine bottle? Do they want wine glasses? Do you want very anthropomorphic dogs that are turned into sort of people like Looney Tunes and Disney-esque? Or are they wanting them to be fairly realistic dogs just sitting next to a table that happens to have wine on it? Do they want it somewhere in between? There is a huge amount of details that I'm going to have to extract before I can even begin sketching. And this is usually about the point where I have decided in my head whether or not I'm going to be able to move forward and continue with this project and work with this client. And again, that's fine, because just like anything else, I'm not going to be best friends with anyone that I would meet on the street, and you don't have to be able to get along with every coworker ever. And in a freelance position, I have the ability to walk away from a coworker that isn't my cup of tea. I hope you found this helpful and inspiring. If you did, please like down below. Remember to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.